And let me take you to the culture of Black people. So there's a lot of sports and religion spoke about in the barbershop. Okay, there are heated debates. But when you look at our health, we kind of pick and choose when we look at, religion. And I hear people all the time in the barbershop say, well, I'm gonna eat pork. My grandmama ate pork. My mother ate pork. I'm gonna eat pork. I eat what I want to eat. God, when God's ready for me, that's when He's gonna take me. So we do a lot of foolish, activity that hurts us based on this construct of religion that is so embedded within our community. Oh, I'm gonna drink this liquor and eat this pork, but I'm gonna pray over it though. These type of activities and these type of behaviors leads us to where we are. We look at our culture and we think it's macho to have a big plate of food. The biggest plate of food that you have is more of a man that you are. And this is what I seen growing up. So we have to begin to change the culture. We have to begin to put some truth into the culture and start, not adding but subtracting. So when we begin to do that, we can begin to start healing ourselves. And I believe that's what Live Chair is doing. That's why it's so important coming into the barbershop, dispelling the myths, changing the conversation. When Live Chair came into Now Style and you brought the classes, the conversations began to change. We began to start talking about food and ingredients in food. What are proteins? What are carbohydrates? Things of that nature. We are very susceptible people, and all we need is a push. But going back to what I originally said, kind of piggybacking off of what Dr. O said, we have to change that culture, our way of thinking. And until we do that, something's going to change. It's going to get worse.
I want to. Oh, go ahead, Doctor. Go ahead. Put another pin in it.
No, I was just going to say one other thing. I love that you brought that up. One of the things that I hear a lot, this idea that, let's say your family, the Johnson family, this idea that you're right. My grandma had diabetes. My great grandma had diabetes. My great great grandmother had diabetes. And sometimes I hear this idea that sickness is a family legacy. And as much as we hold on to that, I think that we have to, be bold enough to also say and reclaim for ourselves that wellness and healing can be a part of our legacy, and that whatever legacy that you thought you were a part of, it can stop and change with you. I think that that's part of it. But I agree that I believe in God, and I believe that He can help us help ourselves. I don't know if anyone's ever heard of, there's a story about a flood and a person who's praying for God to send him help. And God sends him, somebody comes in a ferry boat and he's like, no, God will save me. Go away, ferry boat. And the next thing you know, somebody else is coming up. They got a big sailboat and he's like, no, God will save me. Don't worry about me. Then a helicopter comes and the person says, no, I don't need the helicopter. God will save me. And the person drowns and gets to heaven and said, what happened? And God said, look, I sent you a ferry boat, a sailboat, and a helicopter. So, let's include God and religion in our discussions if that's, if that's something that you believe in. But let's think about how God can help us get to the place of healing and wellness that we need for our communities, because I think God wants us to live abundantly. And so I was just gonna cap that off.
Yeah, and just to, this is obviously dispelling myths around COVID and misinformation. But since we took it to church, I'll just put a point, right? Like even in the Bible, right? Like the Apostle Paul says in 1 Timothy 4:8 that physical training is of some value, right? So like it mentions physical training and how taking care of the body is of value. So regardless of what you believe, I mean, whatever religion you believe, there is value in taking care of your temple. In addition to your point, Dr. O, I think it's amazing where, people, they'll pray for their health to be better. But, one of the ways that, the creator might respond and say, put down the Twinkies, right? Like, it's like, stop asking me for a miracle and, you eating 4 cupcakes a day, right? So like, but anyway, not, but, that was a good sermon.
Or they might send you, Shanle in a barbershop. That might be your boat. That might get you there, you never know. Yeah.